Granting over $1 million to charities this spring, the Niagara Community Foundation has made significant investments in our community, touching all sectors across the region. One notable grant was given to the St. Catharines World Rowing Championships. Here with me is Bryan Rose, the Executive Director of the Niagara Community Foundation, and Bill Schenck, the Chair of the St. Catharines Rowing Championships. 60 days to go, eh, Bill?
Yeah, we're counting down. Yeah, it's getting closer.
What's going on at Henley Island?
So as of today, we're still working on the new finish tower, and so work's about 2.5 weeks behind. We had a private donor come forward at the last minute, and so we're hoping to have this done sooner. But again, in cooperation with the Rankin family, we're working to make sure this tower is ready, and we'll test it out for the Canadian Henley this year, and we all set to go for the World Championships. We worked with the Niagara Home Builders and Niagara College on several events, but on this one in particular with the home builders, we built a new aligner shack, which is up at the start area. The aligners hut is used for aligning all the boats. They put the start cameras on there to make sure that everyone has a fair start to the races, and that as these races conclude at the end of the finish course, it can be as close as 1/1000th of a second difference between first and second. And so we got to make sure that everything's accurate. And so two of the main legacy pieces that are being left from the event. In order to capture all this information, we're working on installing a new fiber optic cable, and the barge is out there today, and so they're rolling out the cable so that Swiss Timing, when they show up, we'll have everything in place for them to do the timing system for that.
Now, Bill, the reason Brian's here today is because you have applied for some monies and received some monies. Can you tell me about it?
That's correct, and so we're very, very fortunate. And so word came down that the David Howe's group had a fund that we might be eligible for as far as applying for an application. And so we went through that process, and the focus that we worked on was, because we have para-athletes taking place at the Mega World Championships, is that we needed some additional supplies or equipment that would make it easier for accessibility for them. And so it was about 4 years ago that there was a tragedy with the para-athletes, and as such, World Rowing has been working very diligently to make sure that that never happens again. And so some of the changes is that we required 3 people in a safety boat, and our safety boats, in order to get a para-athlete out, which takes some additional bodies to help do that, our boats were too small to capture that, and so we're using a 3-man crew now to do that, and the 2 new boats will definitely help with that. And then after these athletes win the race, they'll go into the victory ceremony dock, and there's a transition piece that's required to get them from the dock up into the cement area for the medal presentations. So we were successful on both of those in the application process, and we're very excited, as we haven't been too successful with some of the capital funds that we've been hoping for the event. So very grateful to the foundation for the work, and remembering that Lincoln Fabrics has played a key role in rowing for a number of years, in the World Championships in 1999. On the top of the building, they had a Canadian flag, which everyone loved, and showcased where the finish was. And again, Lincoln Fabrics isn't at the end of the course anymore, but again, still a main part of the community.
Now, Brian, this is an incredible impact, these championships, for the region. When their application came through, was this a bit of a no-brainer?
Well, it's a great question. You know, the demand for fundraising dollars, for philanthropic dollars these days is higher than ever. So, you know, for example, with the $700,000 that we had to grant out in this latest round of the David S. Howe's Fund at the Niagara Community Foundation, we had over $2 million in asks. So competition was high, but the late Dr. Howe's he was a savvy philanthropist, and he gave us several generic buckets of things that we could select funds or applications from. And capital projects and humanitarian causes were 2 of those buckets that I think really fit this wonderful application. So we have a very robust grants committee that reviews all of our applications. Then they make recommendations to our board of directors. So for something of this nature, to a certain extent a no-brainer, but the work and the due diligence to review every single application and divide the funds up to the best of our ability was, you know, a top priority for us.
What is the purpose of this fund?
Yeah, so David, we were very fortunate back in 2017. David, his estate transferred $19 million to the Niagara Community Foundation. At the time, it was the largest donation in the region's history. So we were very proud that the late Dr. Howes and his partner and his family and his trustees trusted the foundation with those assets. It's for charitable purposes here in Niagara. So we created a standalone granting stream just for the David S. Howes Fund. So organizations can apply to us each spring for a variety of projects. It could be humanitarian, it could be education, it could be food service, whatever. Again, the scope is very broad because the late Dr. Howes knew that the need was great.
Bill, the championships are coming up mid-August. Give me the dates again.
So the course opens for training on the 14th of August. The events for racing start on the 18th and go to the 25th.
Now, there's also a free concert did you invite Brian to it?
Brian is invited to everything.
Okay.
So the Fan Fest is taking place in Rennie Park, and then it starts on the 18th and goes to the 24th. It's an open event for the public to come and see, and so we're trying to bring the public in. Some of them may not be interested in rowing, but hopefully they can actually stop and see some of the events that are taking place. And we're kicking off on the Wednesday evening with the Trues, which is a free concert, as well as all the concerts that are taking place from the Wednesday to Saturday. So again, rowing may not attract everyone that we want, but we were trying to make this a community event, and as such, we're offering different concerts, different vendors, food trucks, and to make it more of a community event.
And with all that history in Henley Island, I think we're definitely looking forward to this event. Brian, you're nodding your head, and Bill, I wish you guys all the best, and I guess happy rowing?
Sure.
All
Sounds
right.
great. Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Thank you.